Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. What is today? Happy Monday. Monday fun day, like Sunday fun day. Not really. Anyways, you guys, like I said, I get off work earlier so I can do some lives earlier. So, anyways, Melissa's here with me, of course, which is American Justice in the chat. And of course, this is about Jack and Lily. Oh, I guess I should have their poster up. I was getting ready for the other thing there. There we go, Jack and Lily. So if you guys haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lily, please do. And again, it's been we're going to be coming up to the 7 month mark pretty soon here, aren't we? It's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. But anyways, if you guys, like I said, haven't hit that like and share, please do. Welcome, Melissa. Welcome, you guys.
Hey,
Hi, Shannon. hey, hey, Shannon. Hey, Dottie. Hi, Scotia Leo. Hi, Ryan. How are you guys? Bean. Hey, everyone from good old Nova Scotia. I finally made it to a live on time. Hello. Well, when I get off, even though I got off just a little after what I was supposed to, but whatever. But 2 o'clock, which is like it's only 3:25 my time, so that's a good early live for me to get in. And Streamlabs in the house. So you guys always know with Streamlabs, that if you do use your punctuation wrong, obviously it's going to tell you you're posting a link, and that's why it does that. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? I hope answers come very soon for yesterday wasn't soon enough. A long time ago, actually, wasn't soon enough for answers for Jack and Lily. Hi, Christine. How are you? Johnny's in the house. What a great job on the document, Melissa. Yeah, and she just added some more stuff today, and she'll continue to add stuff. Okay, guys. Again, and we'll talk about that again in just a little bit here. Hi, Snow Queen. How are you? Good evening, all from England. That's where my husband's from. He's from Nuneaton. Haven't been back there in like 6 years. Maybe 6 years, I think, that we haven't been back to England on there. Damian Butler, how are you? Carol's in the house. Grey Wolf. Hey guys. Do. Snarky Pants. Hey Snarky. And then I think that's it. Well, besides whoever came in after. Crystal's in the house. Violet, Laverne, and Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly Hayden. Got my tongue twisting on that, the way you spell that. Mary Stevens is in the house. Hi, Denise. How are you? Nova Nana. Just me. Jackson Ransom. Hey, Henry. How are you? Be in Florida. Gypsy Girl. Again, Tinker. Now I think of Tinker Toys. True Crime Housewife. Hey, how you doing? Blue. I wanted to say Blue Heroine there, but Blue Heron. Icywood, how are you? Phoebe, how are you? This is the way we roll. It's the way we roll. And Autumn is in the house, and Ernestine. So, anyways, welcome you guys. Again, we're just gonna, obviously, get into that. I seen it come in while I was at work. That video about the searching. Never fully watched it. I watched about half of it. Then I had to go back to work. But we're going to get into that right away. Is there anything you want to say, Melissa, before we get into anything?
No, not really.
I pronounce it the same way. Yeah, same as Kimberly. My daddy wanted to be. Yeah, but the thing that sucks about that is, well, nowadays it's not so bad. But when I was younger, you could never find things with your name on it and stuff like that. Like my twin sister's name, you could always find. My mom's name was hard, but that's the only. But nowadays, you can get everything engraved pretty much with your name on it. But when they start twisting up the names, it's like you go find a cup or a mug just on the shelf. Ain't gonna happen. Mary, here in Australia, it is all over the news. Hold on. Trump's involvement with Epstein. Oh, good thing I stay away from the news. At least that side of it anyway. Yeah, that's just like freaking drama, all that crap. Oh geez. Right. Hello, everyone. Love to you all. Okay, so you guys, thank you guys for being here. Obviously, we're talking about Jack and Lily, and that's really the thing that we're just trying to understand about what happened to Jack and Lily. Right? It's been over 6 months, quite ridiculous. I'll say for Canada, this case is very absurd. Watching Daniel the way he is, one of the most absurd. People to me in a case where two children are missing, it's definitely not natural. And you definitely don't see, like, you see liars, right? Like, meaning you see people that are full of shit. And and you kind of know they are when you're watching certain cases. But I think, Daniel, you must be proud that you are one of the top level idiots that I've ever seen following a case, to be honest with you. You know, I should, one of these days, Daniel, you're going to come sit up here with me. We're going to share a bucket of KFC together, and you're going to tell me all about everything. How about them apples? Well, let's have some truth. Let's have some truth coming out here. But anyway, so it's just really hard to watch a case and follow it and see all the drama that goes with it. I know there was some drama again going on today, and I honestly don't care about the drama side of stuff. It just, those Facebooks and all that stuff, like certain things like that people send me, I don't actually go out of my way to look for that stuff. I just because people have sent stuff, perhaps, but I'm not into that. I don't care about those people. I don't care about the ones that don't care about Jack and Lily, and all they want to do is like trash on people all the time. It's like it's pointless, and a waste of time, right? Like, you do you, I'll do me, right? Other channels will do themselves, but it's just such a waste of energy and time entertaining that stuff, to be honest with you. So I'm going to stay clear of that crap. We all know that there was a search the other day. So I'm just going to play the video that came out today, and see what drama on Facebook. Well, again, if you were paying attention to it, you might know, but it's definitely not going to go out of my way to show any of those posts. But just your typical, just what always gets me in these cases, and it doesn't faze me, is how wacko people can truly get. These people behind keyboards, with these fake names, right, Brad Turner, on there. But it's just all these people that make up, their fake accounts and their fake names in order to post and stuff like that. And I'm just like, keep it real. Like, I am who I am. I'm not hiding from it. But it's just that it's so ridiculous, all the stuff that goes on in these high profile cases, and to watch how it becomes in the nastiness behind it. And then it just really loses the focus of Jack and Lily. So I stay away with that. All my intention is with Jack and Lily is to keep awareness, talk about facts. Always grateful to any family members that have spoken out, said things, and bring shine light onto Jack and Lily, or the dynamics of the household and stuff like that, or Malaya's personality. Daniel's, well, we've seen his for 6 months. I don't think there's any guesswork with him anymore, to be honest with you. But yeah, so it's just more focused on, like I said, Jack and Lily, and the people that truly care about being here for the right reasons of Jack and Lily, and answers. And and the BS that happens in cases like this, I have no interest. I really don't have any interest in that. What I care about is Daniel and Malaya, and I know Janie was on the property, but those 3 people are on the property when these 2 children disappeared. Right? So what happened to Jack and Lily? Where's the truth? Where does it lie? Who knows what it's going to take to break this case open and to bring some justice for Jack and Lily. You guys have the poll up there, and I'll look at that in just a little bit once more people have added to it. But I mean, it's really sad, to watch these 2 children right here and watch the crock of crap that's going on with this case. And I'm not talking about the nobodies that don't matter out there in their Facebook land, or the trolls and stuff like that. It's just when you have two children that are missing and all this circus act, right? With Daniel Martell, Malaya's actions, Janie's Angry Bird, stuff, or the Wayne McKenzie in the video there and stuff like that. And it just really, it's disgusting. Two children are missing. And yet the truth seems probably a lot closer than what we realize. But yet to us, it kind of seems like, what's the answers? When's this going to happen? When's the answers going to come for Jack and Lily? I mean, we are coming up pretty close to the 7-month mark, but it is a long time. But there's a lot of cases out there that can last a year or 2, 3, and answers come, evidence, right? I think that's what really holds this case back is the evidence, strong evidence, right? Strong evidence. I didn't know they had KFC in jail, which is where they should be. Melissa. Okay, you know what? Let's watch that video. That's what we'll do first. Add to stage. Oh, I gotta take this one down. So Jack and Lily, bless those children. Bless any children. Anyone from the missing and the murdered. But it's always so hard when there's no answers. So just keep praying for Jack and Lily. At the stage. Okay, so let's watch this, guys. I know lots of you guys have seen this by now, but I haven't fully watched it. Okay.
Downriver. Yeah, it's just strange. So we're organizing a search for Jack and Lily Sullivan. We are relying on community members to come and join those efforts. We're going to offer a little bit of shooting from the hip training on walking along looking for evidence. We've had about 40 people volunteer, but overnight you've had some people drop out. So I would be over the moon if 30 people showed up. Your safety does come first. We are looking for the kids, but your safety comes first. I would say mostly family and friends. And then there's just concerned members of the community that wanted to get involved and help search. And this is their opportunity to get that. We were not going to get involved. We were trying to stay far away from this because we felt that the RCMP were heavily involved. Search and rescue was heavily involved. They were doing a bang up job from what we could see from the outside looking in. And, as soon as you start having conversations with the family, when any family member fills out an intake with Please Bring Me Home, we always get involved in some capacity. We never say no. Of course, it's sad we're going to search for 2 missing kids, but I think that the community and the family coming together to do this effort and a crew coming from Ontario is hopefully overpowering that somberness. Okay, Nikki, we're going.
Stay safe.
You guys good?
Can you describe how the day's been going so far?
It's been a wee bit stressful. Just trying to manage from the outside to make sure that the searchers are safe, and there's 6 groups, so it's a lot of moving around and making sure that they're okay. I've had to get 2 people out who needed to go out because it was too much for them. So that's been a little bit difficult to manage. And then just with the cell service and the walkie-talkies not working properly, it's been really difficult. But I know where everybody is now, and we've only got a couple hours left of sunlight, so we're ahead of the game. There has been some items located that would initially be items of interest. So it looked to be a boy's t-shirt we had located. We sent that to the RCMP. They're going to connect with family to see if it appears familiar. At this time, it doesn't appear to be a familiar shirt. We found a box with some people's names in it that are interesting that we're going to turn over to the RCMP. They're actually on duty today, so just in the event that we do find something. And they were very interested in the box that we found with the certain names in it that I can't say, but they're interested in that. And the fact that it's found in the water, downriver, and yeah, it's just strange. It's strange. We're going to go and just check in with 2 of the search teams. This is a rickety road we're going to be going down to reach them, though. Likely going to be picking up 2 of them to come back to vehicles so that they can come and the rest of them can get picked up.
I'm good. Anyone want out of this? Good.
Okay. So just continue on then. So you guys are going to go to the pipeline, or sorry, yeah, it is the pipeline trail, and then walk on the opposite side of the woods. It's a pretty thick trail, and then I guess just follow along the water. Do you guys think, like, see what time you're at when you get to the water though? Because you'll see you're still.
Yeah, I got you.
You're got a ways up here to go and down there. So, and I want to start really getting people out by 4.
Yeah. What time is it now?
2. Yeah, 2 hours. This, by far, has been the most difficult to manage during the search because you're having to check in with each team every 30 minutes and things come up. You have to go and talk to property owners who are upset that we're there.
I will have you charged for
Do it.
This has been by far one of the more difficult ones to manage from a safety perspective. Now that I've been here, I'm even in my own mind trying to comprehend how it can be possible that these kids wandered off and they haven't been found, especially after being in there and seeing all the flagging tape and hearing from all the property owners that we spoke with what the searching has been done. I'm having a really hard time fathoming that probability now that I've seen it for myself.
And what makes you say that?
Many things, but I think most importantly it is the amount of effort that search and rescue has put forward to try and find these kids and how quick they were able to start that process. I just find it more unlikely by the minute today that they had wandered. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just I after seeing it, I can't understand how they wouldn't have been found that first day. We're not stopping. Like we have to stop because winter's approaching. And we will come back in springtime and do a search dependent on what RCMP's involvement in springtime will be. So, and who knows what will be learned throughout the winter. When the families ask for help, you can't really say no, whether it's a current case or whatever. We have the capacity to do it. We shot from the hip here and planned this in 2 weeks, and we were able to do it. And we were able to clear many kilometers just by asking for locals to come help. So it can certainly be done. And, we're in it until they're found.
At that point there. Hey, now I'm just going to pose a question to you, Johnny. I know you have a YouTube channel. You want to come sit up here with us and talk about the search that you were on and just give it from your point of view? I'm just seeing if you're adventurous or not, Johnny. Johnny come lately or Johnny come up on the live? Let me know in chat. You don't have to. Just asking. Just one of those things, right? Just calling it out there if you want to. Because it would be great to always hear from people. Especially people that are like in the area, around the area, you know, talking about their thoughts. So just let me know. Don't have to. But, okay. So I'll let you put that in chat. Yes or no if you would like to. Melissa. You gotta mute yourself there, chica.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was waiting for you to ask your question.
Well, first of all, I want to say this again. I'm in support of anyone that truly wants to find answers for Jack and Lily. This channel is not based around money and greed and clicks for views and stuff like that. It's just based on when you care about people and you want to do things. And I have a voice and I'm not afraid to use my voice. And, you know, it started off with not even wanting to be in this space at all. I didn't even ever think I was going to be in a true crime space. But the part that makes it worth everything is that we can impact by spreading awareness of cases very fast. You know, yeah, some people don't like the speculation part, whatever. Goes with the territory, to be honest with you. But it's all about what you can do, the awareness you can bring, you know, to helping families, to giving a voice, to giving them a space in the true crime community, like Belinda has done multiple times on this channel, and just being a voice for Jack and Lily and others that have spoken out on some different channels. And so again, so for anyone that has helped in the search or, you know, anything that they're doing to bring awareness and a voice to Jack and Lily, to them, I always will say thank you. So yeah, so any other stuff behind that, I'm not entertaining it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me most is the people that just really want to be voices for Jack and Lily. And so, yeah. So with that being said, thank you very much to everyone, including this channel, right? That has never wavered from, I mean, I might soon if I have to, because I think me and Melissa want to talk about Sebastian Rogers again, but, you know, I kind of stay focused on one particular case at a time myself, because the point is just something that I'm very passionate, but I'm very passionate especially about children, because children are just so beautiful. They're innocent. They're just gifts to be adorned. And anyone that doesn't see that or realize that, you know, well, it sucks to be you then. But for me, children are just, they're just everything. How do I even say that? So when I see pictures of children missing, and Jack and Lily's from Canada, obviously I'm from Canada, but you see this case and you look at these beautiful faces and you just can't understand what could have happened. Well, no, you can understand maybe as time has gone by, but there's still no answers for Jack and Lily. And it's hard. It's hard on the family members that are truly missing Jack and Lily to have these big gaping holes in their heart. And it's just heartbreaking beyond repair to know that people have to wake up with that horrific feeling every day, just wanting answers. And then I'm sure that they question, will answers come? You know, everyone wants to hold out hope they will, but will they come? You know, will there be answers for Jack? That's scary to think about, to be honest. Hi, Aaron. How are you? I'm not sure if Johnny answered me or not, or did he run like the plague? Johnny, I want my money back.
I haven't seen him answer you yet.
Yeah, me neither. It's okay. Sometimes I'm not sure, or sometimes people go quiet, but to me, it's just a yes or no. It makes no difference either way, right? If someone's not comfortable, but Johnny has his own channel. That's why I asked. But anyways, okay. So, in this particular video, and you guys can say what you want in the chat as well. What's the biggest thing that's going through your mind with the search, and whether it's something from this video or not, but with the search that just happened, what's the things that are kind of sticking out to you with regards to Jack and Lily in this search that happened, and the items and certain items found?
Well, I find that this area was known to Daniel Martell clearly because of the geocaching box, but something that really stuck out to me watching it just now, when they did kind of an overhead view, these searchers were wearing yellow and red, all these bright colors, right, that hunters use so you can be seen in the woods.
Right.
And for me, when they did that, like, pan over, and it's like, oh, wow, I can barely see them in those bright colors. So for me, I went back to, could they have been missed on the drone footage, right? Could, you know, they weren't wearing these bright colors like these searchers were. But I personally do not feel that the kids are in the woods.
Yeah.
Unless they're buried in the woods.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say. Yeah. What is in the box? You know, I was going to say, and hey, everyone, of course, again, anyone coming in, please give a like and share for Jack and Lily. Again, keep it out in the algorithm, keep their faces out there. And the more people that keep remembering, you know, the more this case keeps in the eye and the forefront of the true crime community. The news has been doing a really good job at, you know, like, for considering the time that has gone by, the news has been really doing a good job of putting out articles, you know, pretty frequently. We've had document drops and stuff like that, thanks to the news for fighting for that. And again, we might see some more. Not sure when that might come yet, but not yet that I know of. But obviously with this search here, and please bring me home. Again, they said, Nick there, that they were trying to stay clear of it, because, you know, type of thing. And, you know, but they can't say no. And, you know, Belinda, whoever else reached out there, and, you know, they decided to come help. And like Nick said, they put it together rather quickly, and, you know, getting it in, thankfully. And, you know, yeah, you know, obviously now it's getting the time where all the snow is going to happen and stuff like that. And in the springtime is when searches, unless there's answers before then, it's going to have to wait till springtime again, which is very sad. But unless answers come up in the middle. But if there's one thing that, of course, stands out to me was the box, right? That it's like a time capsule box or whatever you call it nowadays, geocaching or whatever. And it has, Daniel Martell's name in it, some other names, and he said that the police were very interested in the box. Now, to me, that goes without saying, because I think, in my personal opinion, that Daniel is absolutely a prime suspect. And Daniel, of course, believes that he's pretty much their best friends, that he was pissed off when they didn't tell him about the dogs, the cadaver dog search and stuff like that. It was almost like a little child throwing a temper tantrum, and you threatened to throw all the information out there. Well, what other information do you have, Daniel? You've been speaking for 6 months, dude. What else are you not telling us that you could tell us? So for me, when I heard Nick say they were very interested in the box, I was like, well, that's a no-brainer, because to me, Daniel is the prime suspect. He's sus as shit. I mean, his actions, well, both Malaya's and Daniel's actions are sus, totally. And so, did it shock you when, because to me, that was probably one of the biggest things, because a lot of things, they showed the family and had no part of it, and stuff like that, like the shirt or whatever that they could show. But what do you think about that box that was found, like you said, downstream in the water, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it? Do you think there's nothing to that at all? Or, I mean,
it's interesting for sure, right? Because it's got Daniel Martell's name in it.
Of course.
But in the end,
another name.
It's got Daniel Martell's name in it from 2014, right? If it would have been from 2025, I would have been like, ooh, that's suspicious. But because it's 2014, it's more of that's a weird coincidence for me. And that's kind of where I place it. I can understand, RCMP going, well, we'd like to know about it. But I don't think, me personally, at this time, that it's going to really have any evidentiary value.
I think it's, the thing that I personally feel about it is that I think that Daniel Martell, to me, is absolutely a suspect. I don't care what Daniel Martell says about it all. He's trying to convince the world that, keep looking this way, keep looking at Malaya family, but don't forget Malaya didn't do anything, but even though he says stuff like she's trying to blame everything on me while she gets, well, she doesn't get in trouble. And it's these stupid comments, and it reminds me of when the Globe and Mail reporter was taught right at the start of this case, and Daniel was so focused on his relationship versus Jack and Lily, and that was one thing that she pulled away from that right at the start. He seemed more concerned about the relationship than he did about Jack and Lily. And I just think that between Malaya's actions and lack thereof actions and all this this isn't normal by any means. And to me, when you see that the truth isn't being told, well, there obviously is a reason for that. And the reason is usually it's because there's involvement. And so that one, it's, again, watch every other case out there when it comes to children missing and the bullshit games that people play. But I feel like Daniel's level is like a high level of BS compared to what I typically would see with people trying to pull one over the, cops and stuff like that. And, but I just think that this, of course, is going to stand out to them because it has Daniel Martins, and it might have nothing to do, but it's going to have some names there. And it's just something that they definitely would just like to look at, even if there's nothing of value to it. But I could see that that's why it would be interesting to them, just for the fact that it has Daniel Martell's name in it. That's how I see it.
Well,
Johnny said,
I
go ahead.
mean, it at least shows that they know that he knew the area, right? It at least shows that
Well, he
he's
does know the
been
area.
to that area. So, I
Yeah.
mean, in that sense, yes, it may have some importance just show because he can't say, well, I don't know this area or I've never been there or whatever, because he clearly
Right.
has. But I think it's too far in time removed to be of a clue as to where the kids are now.
Right. And this one, what Jane says, and my question is, and I've heard this already said to me, but my question is, how did the searchers find the geocache and nobody else did? Does it mean anything? Not sure, but that's a good question, because for all the searching that was done, how did the searchers recently find this out? Actually, some other things too, but it just makes you wonder. Um, because usually it's kind of like bag and tag things, right? Like when the full on search
Well,
was
I don't
going
think
on.
the initial searchers, Sonny, I don't think the initial searchers were looking for stuff like that. Like, they were looking for the
For
kids
the
and the
kids.
kids only, right? Like, I'm sure that the searchers seen the bike or seen this or that, but because it didn't have any relevance, they didn't think that, the kids are in this box. They probably didn't open it, right? So could they have seen it? Possibly. We'll never know unless they come out and say, yeah, we seen it, but we didn't think anything of it and left it where it was.
Well, and absolutely. Uh, I mean, we can repeat this over and over again. I really hope that there's a lesson learned here with the RCMP and the way that cases with missing children are deemed. Like, honestly, I think it blows everyone's mind that two children can go missing. No, and because usually it has something to do with family involvement or somebody close to them, especially in places like this that are so rural. But I just really hope that. That it changes. Same with Amber Alerts. But but just for the fact that we know what happened in Sebastian's and Roger's case is that everyone was traipsing everywhere. If there was evidence to be found, well, now it's contaminated. And then, right, things can be obviously, hidden or moved during that time. And then meanwhile, people are just, according to Janie, right, the Brookside of the family was just munching all on the food. Janie got jealous about that. It seemed like she keeps wanting to always repeat that one. But but just the fact that they would not think to move them off first, like with two children missing, it just blows me away. But anyway, that's hindsight, and I just really hope that changes come for that. Maybe there can be a petition for Jack and Lily on that one, for the fact of making the laws change, because that's just ridiculous to me. It should just be an automatic textbook 101 that you sit there and you get everyone away, and then you downgrade as it becomes, right? Because it's just, so different when you if you're it's cold, you dress up, right? And you can take off the clothing, right? If you get too hot, that's the same thing I feel here, is that downgrade. You take it very seriously because children are missing, and because it's so prone to be family involvement typically, right? Just downgrade it. How hard is it to downgrade versus have to try to go back, and now everything's been tampered with, right? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It does, especially children.
And see, that's what I was saying with Sebastian when they did his. It's
Uh-huh.
like, why are they letting everybody in this scene if that's the last place they were seen, Sebastian or Lily and Jack? Why is it that we're not treating it as a crime scene? You can downgrade it later. And, the Amber Alert, okay, they didn't have a specific vehicle, but they could have put out what the kids were wearing, their ages, their birth dates, things like that, and said, hey, be on the lookout for these kids. I think an Amber Alert the whole system, American side and Canadian side, needs to be revamped and some of these things fixed. But I don't understand how a missing child is not immediately deemed crime scene, take photos, try to get evidence, and then downgrade it as we go.
Belinda says the blanket and sweater and a rug were picked up today and taken to detachment. Thank you for that, Belinda, and welcome. Love you, Belinda. Mwah, mwah. Again, just it's so heartbreaking. Like I said, that we're this long, Belinda. But we're gonna keep being voices and fighting for Jack and Lily. And the more that people start talking, all those people that are the closest to the family and stuff like that. Again, if you haven't said something, say something to the RCMP. That's what matters most to me, right? Is that as long as the RCMP have all the information from everyone, or that if somebody hasn't given it, that they have a heart, for Jack and Lily versus, thinking that they're putting themselves in the middle and worried. A lot of people get, when you're in the mix of things, they get really worried about saying stuff or retaliation and different stuff like that. For me, it's when you got 2 children, be a voice for the children. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. So let's just see here. Sorry. Hi, Chelsea. Don't think the box means anything. Just proves how well Daniel knew the area, which to me, I already knew that, right? I think you guys already figured that Daniel knows that area very well. And for me, that's why it might be a bitch to find Jack and Lily there. And again, because you guys all know that my personal opinion is I do believe that family involvement of those people on the property are all liars, and that the truth is hidden between those people on the property. Again, in my personal opinion. And so you should try, like for me, I try to think of, okay, is it a place? Because Daniel's pretty selfish, right? Daniel's pretty self-absorbed. It's all about him. So if perhaps the children were anywhere, it would be probably somewhere that would mean something more to him, that he would go to, that he would know the area. Versus Malaya, he probably wouldn't give 2 shits about what Malaya, because Daniel clearly always makes everything about himself. Now I know in Daniel's eyes, he thinks he's this poor innocent victim that's been telling us the truth and all that. Well, again, the proof will be in the pudding, won't it, Daniel? So whatever evidence is going on or lack thereof, again, just want answers for Jack and Lily. But I'm not on this. I'm not on this line of thinking of making excuses for bullshit for people. It's just, like I said, the cases are a dime a dozen when it comes to children and lying parents and stuff that's happened. Now, this case got twisted when Darren Durwood inserted himself, and then it became this lies from Daniel about things, right? And at least Belinda, on the live, at least Darren said that he didn't know why Janie changed her story about the shushing, right? So why are we believing these liars telling us that these children are hidden, right? Like I still believe that Durwood, I don't believe that Durwood had any part, or Darren, however you want to call him, had any part of Jack and Lily's disappearance. I believe that he put himself in there, and I just, that my gut doesn't tell me he does. My gut tells me that he's a very strong, bullheaded person that believes what he believes based upon the Brooks Murray side and the information from that, in a sense, or the lack thereof, or the actions. And then he goes and Daniel, and then this whole hidden thing becomes derived. I want to look quickly at the poll for that for you guys and just see where we're at. So it's always the same. Family involvement and alive is top, okay? Family involvement hidden is 20%. Wandered off in the woods, gone, 4%. Random stranger, gone, 4%. So there are still people out there that definitely do think that these children are hidden. In my personal experience in true crime, or to think that it's very unrealistic. It's really, 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 really unrealistic. But I understand that there's people that want to believe it, want to believe that Malaya's actions, right? But to me, I'm just looking at what is normal. Occam's razor, for people that don't understand what Occam's razor is, it's the simplest line to the truth. Really, everything usually has to do with drugs, money, jealousy, divorce and stuff like that. Those are the things that usually are about why these crimes are committed. And things happen to children. They become an inconvenience to the parents, or, whichever. So there's nothing that someone can tell me, to be honest, myself, that would make sense about the hidden theory at all, because it's like going at step 1 and somehow ending at step 30, and the RCMP are so dense, right? So I know Darren is saying that he's gonna be doing a live or all that stuff. The reason why the RCMP don't follow up on that stuff, or like, not that they didn't at the start, but because, in all fairness, Darren's kind of like a mockery to the RCMP. There's a reason why his interviews were cut short. There's a reason why they're not entertaining really his information, right? Maybe a little bit of it, of certain information, but there's a reason for all this. And the RCMP are showing no signs that these children are hidden, and that Malaya and Daniel and whatever had, especially Malaya, is such a rocket freaking scientist out there with the brain of, freaking Einstein there, and that she could plan all this, keep everyone from speaking out, keep a reserve from speaking out, nobody collecting a reward, right? But I'm not going to sit here and keep going on about that, because at the end of the day, just think what you want. We still want answers for Jack and Lily. If that's your path and that's your thoughts about it, for sure, this definitely isn't the channel for the hidden theory, but it's definitely a channel that really likes to bring you the information. And a lot of that information has always been from the help of family members, Belinda, right? And other family members, you guys know. I know Darren's talked, Daniel and stuff like that. And that's all I ever really care about, is what is it that they're all saying, and where's the truth within it all. But so at the end of the day, as time is going on, more family members are getting pissed off. The more they just want the actual answers and the truth now. It's kind of like, cut the bullshit. But if Malaya isn't really changing her story and she's not talking, right? Well, what are you going to do? You're going to lead the freaking horse to water, but you can't make her drink it, right? She's going to lie to her mom and her family and stuff like that, right? And just kind of stick to the story on the interview. What can they do? I'm sure that they can read her, especially the mother, Cindy. And by the way, I want to make a correction to that. So Cindy and Wade have been together for like 5 years. Okay. So just if anyone, because I know Charmaine, someone asked Charmaine, and then I thought it was 13, but that was a different relationship. But anyway, so 5 years, but definitely Cindy is going to know her daughter, and she's going to know when something's off. Right. So I was really glad to see her at the search. I know that Hayden was at the search as well. Obviously we saw Cheryl and Haley there, and who else? Besides like Belinda's side, I was thinking about the Brooks Murray side there. I can't remember, but anyways, but bottom line is, like I said, can't make Malaya talk, can't make Daniel tell the truth. Well, unless we stick him with some truth serum, perhaps, and stuff like that. But other than that, I feel like that's just the biggest holdup. Is, again, like I've said this many times, right, Melissa, is that I don't think that the evidence is there. It's not strong enough. But when I hear Nick say something like this, even though this might have no evidentiary value whatsoever, it's the fact that it was important because it had Daniel Martell's name on it. Right. And like I said, and Daniel, he just tries to keep getting stronger and acting like that still, like, you know what? I mean, I've done all this. I gave the, I gave the police basically the Dollarama footage and stuff like that to like find me. I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this. That personality right there, that that's so far up his own asshole, seriously, again, is the biggest freaking clear glass to me of such a liar that man is. He doesn't know how to tell the truth. If it bit him in the ass, and he can keep portraying to the public all he wants, but it will be a matter of evidence that, of course, that will solve this case and bring Jack and Lily to justice for the answers. Probably over. I haven't even scrolled down. My God. Sorry, Melissa. Went on a whole freaking ass rant there. Didn't even let you speak. They felt it doesn't mean anything.
So
it doesn't mean anything. Johnny,
something I just want to expand on of what you said, Malaya has made one TV interview that I have been able to find. And she released the letter to Please Bring Me Home. But you cannot tell me, and I don't know, maybe chat has a different opinion, maybe you do, but you're not going to tell me that behind the scenes, behind closed doors with her own family, they're not going, where are they? What happened? Your story doesn't make sense. Like, yes, her story, we have one story from her, right? But you can't tell me her family isn't trying to figure it out behind closed doors. So even though her story to us isn't changing because she's not speaking, mind you, and that's the only reason. But has her story changed behind closed doors? Is that why Cindy is now suspicious of what happened?
Thank you, Cottager. I heard the music go off. Thank you for the $2.79 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you guys again. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't hit the like and the share, please do. I don't want to speak for Cindy, but as a mother, she knows if her daughter is lying or not, right? And honestly, I just kind of think about Wade's interview that Tint did. I did an interview. I don't want to call it an interview because obviously it was recorded and stuff like that. I just think that obviously Wade and Cindy, they're going to talk to each other. So I kind of go along with what Wade says, like that Cindy and him probably have these conversations and stuff like that. I would think that Cindy would think that something's up sus herself, to be honest with you. It's her daughter. She would know. She would know when Malaya's acting like bullshit. Just like Janie, but all Janie wants to do is shine shit on Daniel's ass, like he's shitting out gold bars, and then you got Earl Martell over there, who, goes off on these freaking rampage posts lately, but I think same thing with Earl is that, take the blinders off, Earl, right? There's, I know you probably don't want to mention your son's name, but I will. What has your son been doing for 6 months? I think you would know as a father, just how weird his actions have been. Like, I don't know who, like Daniel's not getting by me. That's for sure. He's not getting by a lot of people. When you act this way and you're being deceptive and you're trying to manipulate a narrative to hidden and stuff like that, and you're trying to manipulate people with your BS, you're never going to get by me, dude. Never. But the parents know. They know when their children are acting weird. They just might not want to admit it, or have total blinders on. And, like I said, I'm kind of got my heels dug in that definitely I feel like Daniel and Malaya both know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily, and Janie would have been on that property, and vehicles, I believe in Brad and I believe in Justin, and about hearing vehicles. And of course he denies that. They denied that. But, Janie's just, I see Janie as being the protective mother, honestly, Janie, that voice. Oh, the voice on the end of the
Sonny, something that I found odd when I was doing this document is when your child goes missing, you're instantly calling family. You're telling your family. You may not immediately get to your friends, right? But you're going to call your mom and your dad and your grandparents and, the aunts and uncles, people that are close to you, right? So when making this document, I came across an article and an interview that they had done with her dad. And he said he didn't even know until Sunday that the kids were
Oh,
missing.
yeah.
It's like, wow,
Yeah.
really? They went missing
Yeah.
on Friday and you didn't even find out till Sunday? Like,
Yeah.
why? Because
That's
that would
one.
have been, for me, one of the first things I did was call my family.
Yeah, that was the one where, baby girl, you know daddy's a tracker, right? That one. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious about that phone call that Malaya tried to make to her mother at 8:28, was it? And yeah, and that was very curious about the father, like, do you know what I mean? Like, even, usually a lot of times in situations like this, that when there's something that's really horrific, you're pretty much reaching out even to the people that you don't really talk to, type of thing. But I'm talking about like family here. So yeah, it did strike me as odd that, her own dad didn't even know till Sunday. And all I see that as, honestly, I don't know. I just see it as, again, just when people don't know how to act, when you know you're guilty of something, and right. So when the natural instance happens and Jack and Lily go missing, right? The genuine reaction of people is genuine, and you can feel it, you can see it. But when people are involved in a crime that don't typically have this happen every day, they don't know how to lie properly. And so then you get these inconsistencies and you get these timelines that don't make sense. And it's because they don't emotionally know how to truly act. Right? Because if you have involvement, now you have to, like, yes, you can have the recourse of thinking about that this was an accident per se that happened to Jack and Lily that night, and just be very sad, but yet knowing why those emotions are coming up. But if there's family or involvement by someone that's guilty, they don't truly know how to act genuine, and they have to start, right, like I said, either faking tears, right, Daniel? There, look at camera. But you know what I mean? Because they don't know how to act. It's not authentic. It's not real. And so how do you, if you have guilty knowledge of knowing exactly what happened to Jack and Lily, it's pretty hard to fake those type of emotions and words and timelines. And it just all starts standing out. And because Daniel hasn't shut his mouth, it's because of Daniel, honestly, like, to the public. Doesn't mean to the RCMP, but to the public. Daniel has left himself in, a place where most people don't buy his shit anymore. Most. Some still do, but most don't, because they've watched someone overtalk, add things to the case that, as time has gone on, try to constantly push it towards Malaya's family, especially Haley and Hayden, but without Malaya's involvement. And it's just shit like that is just beyond stupid, right? That this hole in a garbage can in a thing, right, all of a sudden ends up in a tree, and Daniel's like, and then I put 2 + 2 together because I'm just so smart. No, it's because you planted the ass blanket, dude. Okay. And you thought you were, by driving around at nighttime and all that stuff. But again, it's just the evidence. That's to me what's totally holding this up. But as for like Daniel stuff, like, dude, so, just, now I just want to know, did Johnny say anything? Because I'm so backed
So,
up in.
yes, ma'am said that Johnny said he would come up, and I asked Johnny if he said that. He hasn't answered me, but yes, ma'am said again that he said he would. So I'm
Well,
not
he
sure.
did. He said give him some time because he wanted to get some notes together, and he would. But I'm not sure if he's said. Oh wait,
He said, "How do I join?"
Okay, Johnny, do me a favor. Send me an email to atcrimingshame@gmail.com, because I don't want trolls getting the link. atcrimingshame@gmail.com, and then I'll send you the join link from there. Okay. So if you could do
So
that.
people are saying that they wouldn't have called some of their family members, their dads and such, because they're not close with them. And I guess maybe, yeah, if you're not
Maybe.
close with your family, maybe that's, the
Well,
difference with me as I'm super close with my family. But
Well,
I
you think,
just found it odd to me. It struck me as odd. And something else that struck me as odd if is why they didn't go out. Yeah, even if they thought Janie was gone, let's give them benefit of the doubt. They thought Janie was gone. Why would you still not knock on the door or open the door and say, holler for the kids? Like that is it blows my mind as to what they say they did, because in Malaya's interview, she's like, and then, the next thing we knew is they were gone. And it's like, what did you leave out? Because anytime I've ever heard somebody, and then the next thing I knew, blah, 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 they were hiding something in there, right? There's something that you could tell it was a script. You could tell that very important information is being left out. And that
sure.
information that's being left out is what we need to find the kids.
Mm-hmm. But who's that going to come from? It's going to come from RCMP, Daniel, Malaya. Hey, Janie, how you doing? Uncle Ron, how you guys all doing? It's going to come from them, in my opinion. Unless somebody else has information, It's not because I'm on, like I said, this, it's not on this. It's not like I'm blind and sitting there going, yeah, I'm just going to keep talking about Daniel Malaya. No, it's because of everything of their actions and the constant 6 months of listening to bullshit. I mean, the bullshit was there from the start, but then as time went on, Malaya was the hardest one to understand because of the lack of talking and stuff like that, But in saying that, like I said, to me, just in time and talking, it's pretty much crystal clear to me that, in my opinion, Daniel and Malaya and Janie all know that something happened that night. And I'm just waiting for the truth to come out. And all I keep thinking about in my head is, okay, where is Jack and Lily? Like, is Jack and Lily at a spot that Daniel, like, that means something in a sense or not? Are they within the vicinity, within 5 kilometers still, or 20 kilometers? Because I personally do not believe, and neither does Belinda, that the children, and a lot of other people, that the children are alive. I mean, so this holdout hope for honor reserve and Darewood talking and giving his stuff, like, I mean, in a sense, bless that man for trying to really, I think, find answers for Jack and Lily. But I think he went a bit wackadoodle and too headstrong and too whatever. And then his son started joining in recently with stuff like that. But like I said, the truth will come out. But to me, the people on the property are the ones that have the answers. And so I feel like, again, like I keep saying, that because of the rule setting, because of the lack of digital data, right? They're not going to be needing bank records and stuff like that from days before, in my eyes, because this was something that I don't feel was planned. I feel like with everything leading up to that day, that Malaya wanting to leave Daniel, Daniel being on meth, and who knows what else, if Malaya was as well, all this argument. I believe that absolutely an argument happened that night. But I think that Daniel was losing control of myself. And I just feel like that an argument happened and something happened with those kids. And again, in my personal opinion, I just feel like Daniel absolutely knows the answer, and Malaya. But if I was, so I just think it between the two of them, absolutely. And Janie to me is just protecting her child. And that's why their stories don't make sense. Like whenever people say that their stories make sense, I don't know in what world we live on that their stories are in conjunction with each other. All it has been is layered bullshit for the last 6 months, and timelines that don't even make sense. And they're in and out of consciousness as they're all sleeping. Like, it's falling into Occam's razor, the same stuff that other parents use of, oh, I was sleeping and didn't see my child go outside. Well, all 3 of them are claiming that, well, I went inside, laid down, and all of a sudden my timeline just goes out the window. Daniel can't remember freaking Thursday or Wednesday. Malaya can't remember Wednesday. And it's just, like I said, you just think of it all together. And then, so all I can picture is that there was an argument that happened. Malaya was probably going to leave his ass. Daniel probably lost his shit. And argument ensued. Children got involved in, like, in a sense, a part of all this. And again, in my opinion, sorry guys, but whether something happened to one of the kids getting hurt, the other one perhaps maybe getting smothered, maybe both, something like that. And I really hate to say that, but I'm still trying to stay along the realistic line of what typically happens in these scenarios. And everything around this case oozes bunch of bullshit from the two people that were supposed to protect Jack and Lily. Yeah.
Something that stood out to me with Malaya when she spoke to the RCMP, and it's in the court documents, and she said that she was scrolling on her phone because she was overstimulated. And that was on Thursday. So if you're already overstimulated before you guys go into town,
yeah.
and then you do all these things, we go back to Sebastian, right? He had this best day, it was
Right,
great.
his
And then
best
all of a
day.
sudden he went missing, right?
Yeah.
So when she is telling the RCMP, I just had to sit down and scroll on my phone because I was overstimulated. So then you take the kids to town, which is more stimulation, right? You're already overstimulated in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you get home. You're not going to convince me that this was normal. Like, yes, you might have been overstimulated, but if you're overstimulated and then you have a fight with Daniel later on in the evening, right? It just brings all that back up.
Mm-hmm.
That is where it goes off the rails for me with Malaya, is she admits on Thursday before they left for town that she was already overstimulated.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, why did Malaya say Cody took them? Well, again, I just look at this as two liars, and they're trying to point in different directions. And I call it brain fuckery, is what I call that all. I call it just two people that know the truth, at least leaving hag bag out of it for a second here. But I just think that it's two people that know the truth, and they're trying to misdirect, and they're trying to, of course, right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to find the answers, right? For Jack and Lily. I'm working so hard searching and all that, Malaya. Working so hard for Jack and Lily. I just find it, again, on every level as a parent, this is not, unless you have involvement, this is honestly not how these cases go when it comes to parents that truly genuinely out there. Now, a lot of searches, when children are missing and they haven't been found, a lot of the family members will create the searches, right? Because they just want answers. So they'll do everything and anything they can to create searches, and like I said, I don't give sit there slack to Malaya's bullshit at all. At one time I kind of maybe did a bit, because I felt if she was helping the RCMP to give them answers, but then it became clear to me that no, I am not at all. I think, like I said, I think that and you're right, Meadow, as for Meadow, pray for that baby too, that Meadow is never in the hands of Malaya or Daniel, that the children are not in the hands. I don't care, right? It's one of those things. Maybe you were a good mom at one point, but then you met Daniel and your fucking life went, like this. But you stayed there knowing he was doing drugs. Who knows if you were doing drugs, but you put yourself in that situation. And to the point that Jack and Lily go missing, right? I mean, the whole thing just stinks. It just reeks of lies and reeks of everything. It's like a package, right? Everything about the timeline, about the actions of these people, Daniel, Malaya, right? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and try to make freaking rainbows, out of bullshit and stuff like that. Their actions to me clearly show that they absolutely have knowledge with Jack and Lily, in my opinion. Got to keep saying that, in my opinion, allegedly, right? Because it's like I said, it's like the writing is right on the wall. Everything about this case, including the time up until Jack and Lily went missing, you know, black eyes. I still want to know about that, actually, about if Cindy knows if on, because she would have seen it if Lily had this black eye from a Tonka truck. But all these black eyes, you know, we've heard nothing favorable towards the children living there, and all these good things that were going on, you know. And I just feel so. It's just disgusting that Jack and Lily are getting put behind by the two people that were supposed to protect them. And they're the ones that, with this, all this bullshit going on, they're the ones that are continuously, you know, Daniel's acting like, I'm just giving you everything. You know, I'm the best bud in the whole wide world to the RCMP, and they just like me and they tell me everything. And I shouldn't tell you this, but hey, the RCMP, you know, I gave them all this, you know, they're like, it's just ridiculous with him. Like, he's beyond repair. Hey, Daniel, I don't really see you talking to my chat too much anymore. Huh? You finally got the hint that, honestly, like, you coming in here, the more you say, the more you just actually add to your freaking sinking ship, to be honest with you, you know? And Malaya, the more you don't do and stuff like that, again, it's a matter of time. And time's going to bust this open, right? There's going to be a point to me when it's going to be bust open, and then the truth is going to come out for Jack and Lily. But the horrible thing about this is when the truth does come out, where's Jack and Lily? Where's Jack and Lily? They ain't hiding underneath no mushroom cup or on some reserve. It's going to be that Jack and Lily.
You were talking about the black eyes, Sonny, and I keep coming back to when Daniel was talking to Daniel on the Drunk Turkey show, and he said most, keyword there is most, of the black eyes were probably from Lily. And then he's like, well, Jack was clumsy too. He'd fall a lot. He'd run into doorknobs. They throw stuff at each other. They're very aggressive. So, like, those are typical abuser comments. Like, they really are. If you look at domestic violence, those are typical abuser comments. Well, they're clumsy. Well, they ran into the doorknob. Well, they'd fall. Those are things that you say when you're covering up something that you did a lot of times. And I'm not going to say in my opinion because it's backed up by research.
Yeah. Just quickly, yes, ma'am. Police audio says so, right? And this was a conversation that always got avoided, especially by Daniel. But Malay is the one that put that out to Belinda, 8 to 8:30, right? So police, the scanner audio says, you know, 8 a.m., which would make sense why Malaya called Cindy at 8:28 and why Cindy made it there in 15 minutes. Wait, what? What? Cindy didn't make it there in no 15 minutes. Cindy didn't even get there till the afternoon.
Cindy didn't get there until lunch.
Or past lunch. It would have been past lunch. Do you have the thing in your document? The one where it shows that phone call?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, tell me what it's under. And why Cindy made it there. So what would make sense? I'm not sure I'm catching you on that one. Yes, ma'am. Because if anything, that's very sus. That 8 a.m. to 8:30 is when she said that the children went missing. And yet, you know, so at 8:28, she calls Cindy. And yet the phone call doesn't go into 10:01. How would that make sense?
So in Janie's audio, 2 hours, 31 minutes, 21 seconds in, give or take, she says that from Cindy's house to her house is 2.5 hours to...
No, that's wrong.
Or 2.5 hours.
That's
2
wrong.
hours, 45 minutes or whatever.
That's wrong.
But she said that she didn't show up until around lunchtime.
Yeah, I mean, I have the screenshot, and this is so that's what I'm saying. So Daniel, and maybe I don't know if he's just dense as a door when he said this, because like for instance, how could Daniel claim that he wasn't even around when the searchers were setting up because he was off looking for Jack and Lily, right? That he wasn't even there. So how would he know that Cindy arrived within 16 minutes of when the police were called at, and obviously that time, so we know that that's 10:27 is when they arrived. Daniel can't keep his shit straight. That's his problem, right? So he's trying to act like Cindy arrived then. So first of all, it's about an hour and 20 minutes away. And so Daniel was sitting there beside Janie when Janie was doing that whole conversation there. All you could hear was Daniel's bubbles going off and probably telling his mummy what to say. It was a joke. And then you could hear Janie flipping her papers over, over and stuff like that. But the thing was, so Janie's like, yeah, my son here just showed me how to use like Google Maps, basically, and it's like 2 hours. And she said that wrong. It's a little over an hour to get there, right? So I have the screenshot. I'd have to go pull it up of when the family members showed when Malaya was, say, talking to her mom, and then people started going, well, maybe she was just around the corner. Well, again, you don't think possibly that the RCMP would have that freaking data off their phones to know the accuracy? Anyways, it was later in the afternoon, we'll just say. So that's why what you just said there, yes, ma'am, absolutely makes no sense. There was no Cindy arriving in 15 minutes, and her calling Cindy at 8:28 when she said to Belinda between 8 o'clock and 8:30. So that's when you're saying that's when you say last seen them, right? But yet you call your mom at 8:28, and then, like I said, the next phone call doesn't go out to 10:01. But that's the timeline that definitely Daniel always avoided, because Daniel always was saying that, based on the 8 to 8:30, that it was 20 minutes, within 20 minutes that, hey, I just woke up and, wait, Malaya, wait, what? Who woke up first? I don't know. Oh, Malaya woke up really fast and just suddenly said that she couldn't hear kids and blah, 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 bullshit. But yeah, so, like I said, they've never really talked about that time. And at first I just felt it was just them taking away from CPS on the news, trying to not involve CPS and kind of act like, and that's why Malaya says, right? Like, which with her own bullshit again, that the children were always supervised. And everyone knew that was a crock of crap. I mean, even in Malaya's own words, she can't even keep her story straight about the kids always being supervised to, that them going like towards the road and stuff like that, or even in the morning when she says that, yeah, lots of times the kids, sometimes the kids would get out and Janie would call me. Oh, that's because they were supervised. Gotcha. Right. But anyways, so there's these inconsistencies and all that shit. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
In the court documents, in Cindy Murray's statement, she stated that she missed a call at 10:40 a.m. So there's no way she was there, yes, ma'am, in 15 minutes from 8:28, because at 10:40 she missed a phone call and a message from Malaya that the kids were missing. And that Cindy Murray learned this from her mother, that the kids were missing, because she left her phone in the house when she was in the barn, which is why she missed Malaya Brooks Murray's call. And Cindy Murray says she did not know what time her mother called her to let her know. So there's no way she was there, by 8:45 when she missed the phone call at 10:40 from Malaya, and then her mother called her to let her know that the kids were missing.
Patty's mom called Cindy. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, when Patty called Cindy to let her know that the kids were missing.
Right. So, I mean, so who told Patty? like we didn't see anything about, and I don't know, those documents are kind of wish-washy anyway, but we didn't see anything in Patty's thing, besides there's still some redacted stuff that maybe might uncover that, but we didn't see anything in Patty's line. We saw it in Cindy's line about the 828 because obviously of them having that information. Right, who told Patty? Well, you would think it would have to be Malaya, right? So was there another phone call that went out when she couldn't get a hold of her mom? Don't know. The family knows, obviously. But as long as police know, right? As long as they all have that all sorted out, which I'm sure that they do. And sorry, Joe, I sent you the link. I was totally too busy talking there that I forgot to go to my email.
So the only time I've heard the call mentioned at 8:28, I'd have to go back and look and see what Malaya said about it. But Cindy did say that she missed a call from Malaya at 8:28 when she was speaking with the RCMP.
Correct. What was that phone call about? Was it a phone call to say?
I personally
go ahead.
I personally think that's kind of the missing key right now, is what that phone call.
I feel like that phone call was about the starting off the fakeness of, or I don't know, about the fakeness of, hey, mom, the children are missing type of thing. You know what? Actually, hold on. You know what really strikes me as odd is that one statement in those documents where it says, I told you they had autism. Like, mom, I told you they had autism. Or I think it was the wording was, I told you they had autism. Like, what the fuck? So, like, because the way it's construed, it comes off like as soon as Cindy arrives, it's like, well, I told you they had autism. Oh, so that meant what? Oh, you mean the possible autism? Oh, you mean the one that they were never diagnosed for? These children probably had freaking.
I think it's a convenient excuse.
Well,
because they know kids with autism wonder.
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, definitely, I think those children had issues. Lily's pulling out her hair. Jack's freaking, not listening. These children were probably just children looking for love and attention, and that they weren't getting it in that household. Sounds like Malaya was out to lunch on her phone, pretty much doing not much. I still feel like there's truth to that Daniel was doing a lot of the stuff. Like, I do feel like Daniel was probably doing the most with the kids, and Malaya just became, a lazy butt. I mean, Wade spoke about being in there, and even Belinda, about the conditions of the inside of that place, right? So I feel like Malaya just kind of like thought her life freaking was, to be honest with you, and then she probably did neglect the children, right? A lot. I think that both of them did. I mean, what the fuck are both of them doing lying in bed, even in their story that they tell, right? They're sitting there basically saying, yeah, well, we were just in bed here at 9:40 still, Meadows sitting there, in Malaya's arms and blah, 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 blah. And that the children had woke them up and their asses couldn't get up at 9:40, right? Their asses couldn't get up. But Malaya's obviously got up to go to the window to make a phone call to Cindy at 8:28. I mean, that whole timeline is bullshit. I just wipe it away because there's no meaning to it. Sunny replying to my other comment, Danielle and them kept saying Cindy was there right away. Right. Yeah. Okay. I had a feeling because I thought that was a little off of the way that was worded. Right. Cindy basically said that she was like in the barn or whatever. She didn't get the phone calls. Patty ended up, I guess, telling Cindy. And then I know. So anyways. And so, yeah. So like, I don't know if Daniel, was totally obviously knowing he was like lying, but I don't know if he was forgetting that there's data to back that shit up, because Daniel's out searching and he's not even there when the RCMP arrived, like he said, how would you know that Cindy arrived only, 16 minutes after the police showed? And he's like, just like with Malaya and everything, don't you think that's sus? don't you think it's sus that Malaya didn't leave her laundry at Patty's house, like Daniel said, right? And that's based on Daniel's own admissions. But he tries to keep changing the narrative of the story. And I just don't understand how people can even entertain this bullshit, because that means that you're believing that their children were hidden, that Malaya somehow, expected the reserve or to hide these children or whatever. Some people might think traffic and stuff like that. And, and it's honestly, like, I get in the world that we have trafficking cases. Absolutely. I get in the world that we have parents that steal their kids. Absolutely. Oh, Johnny's here. Hi, Johnny. I see Johnny. Hi, Johnny. How are you?
Good.
Good. Nice to have you.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, no, a pleasure having you.
Good.
So, Johnny, just honestly, I'm going to leave this with you right now. Just tell us whatever you want to say about search, about, everything, anything.
Sure. So I've never been on a YouTube live before.
Oh,
I'm not much of a talker, but I do have some notes and some things that I would like to share related to the search. So basically, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Are you? I don't hear any actually coming from you. Do you have, now, Johnny, if you have a YouTube channel open, make sure you close anything else off. Just only be in the live stream. That's, if this is your first time, that could be because you have a YouTube, because you were watching the channel. So make sure that that's closed off or muted.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to mute my audio. You guys can hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, perfect. So I guess just for the record, I want to state kind of where I stand on this case in general. And I think my opinion is I don't really have a strong opinion. I would like to reserve that until this is solved and we know for sure exactly what happened. I think if you were to ask me one day versus another day, I probably would have a different opinion. So I guess I'm not really a true crime person either. I love crime documentaries just as much as anybody, but like to actually get engaged in true crime on YouTube never really was my thing, but I became interested in this just because of this case, my proximity to the Jack and Lily, and just the nature of the case itself. So when an opportunity came up to contribute in some way, I thought it would be a good thing to do. So I made a few bullet points that I think probably some of this is going to be repeated from things that you would have heard on the news. But I think there's some interesting things here as well that you probably didn't hear on the news.
Sure.
These are my observations, my opinions, of course. So we were divided into teams. My team was 5 members. I was with James, who I think is a pretty experienced member from Please Bring Me Home. So that was great. He was clearly very skilled and had a lot of experience in searching. I learned a few things from him along the way. CBC actually came with us for the first kilometer or so. So that was pretty interesting. And that's where they did that little interview with James where he was talking about the heat signature findings. I got there probably around, I live in Halifax, by the way, so I'm about 150 kilometers from Jack and Lily's home. And I arrived there about 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, we were entering the woods. And we completed around 4. It was optional to stop for lunch. We didn't take a break for lunch. We just worked through and just had snacks along the way. So primarily I actually have a map. Maybe I can share that with you.
Sure.
Funny, of like the area where we
I was going to say, so are you on a
it was a
desktop?
5-kilometer loop. Probably 2/3 of it was around. Sorry?
Oh, I was going to say, are you on a desktop or a laptop?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so if you have it, all you need to do is hit share screen, and then I can put it up to show it if you want to show that map.
Sure.
I'll teach you yet, Johnny. Thank you for joining us, by the way. And
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure out what's going on with this YouTube.
Are you hearing feedback still?
Okay. There we go. No feedback.
There we go. Did you have?
That's much better. I had another YouTube window open that
Yeah.
it was in a tab and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can I share a file with you?
Yeah. So below, can you see the word share? It's like a little plus sign on a TV.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, just a sec. So yeah, this is basically, we used an app to track where we were searching, and then all that information went back to Please Bring Me Home. So they have basically the route that everybody took during the search. So everybody used the same app, and you can export this map data as KML, which you can then view in Google Maps. So I overlaid it onto Google Maps, and
okay,
I will share that.
Ooh. Yes, Marie. No. That they were last seen in her between 8 and 8:30. Marie.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Sonny, I have a quick question while he's doing that. Do you want me to hop down and see if that helps? Because it seems like there's a lot of freezing.
Oh, there's no freezing over here unless you are. Are you
Okay,
freezing?
well, it might just be that I have so much open on my computer.
It could be because I'm not freezing, and Johnny, like I said, you got your feedback taken care of, and this is a map, and of course, Johnny, you can control zooming in and out on your map as well from your side.
Okay. Is that? Oh, it's not zooming in.
Yep, it's zooming in. Are you not seeing it zoom in?
Okay, there we go.
Who's mic? Are you hitting your microphone?
Ooh, me?
Yeah.
I was hitting my keyboard.
Oh.
Sorry.
Newbie. It's all good.
So can you see my cursor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so this is where we started. I believe this is the bridge where they found that star sticker thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's kind of hard to see the river here, but basically this red line is where the river is. We walked on the, I don't know what compass direction it would be, but we walked on the left side of that river. Right. And I will say that the woods there are definitely pretty thick in some spots. In other spots, it's a little more open. I think a little person could travel through some areas more easily than an adult, but there's definitely some places where it doesn't matter who you are or how big you are. It is really hard to get through.
Yeah.
Parts of, I think it was in this section, parts of this river, it must have been like in ancient times when this was a much bigger version of this river. The
Right.
riverbanks are really high, like 30 to 50 feet high, and they're almost vertical.
Oh,
And that actually goes on for quite a while. They're so vertical you can't actually walk on them.
right.
So just I thought that was an interesting point. Yeah, and then we kept going until we got to Lansdowne Lake, and then we walked around Lansdowne Lake through the pipeline trail. And oh, actually, that's not the pipeline trail. This is I forget what road this is. This is basically just like a dirt road, and then we went on to the pipeline trail and followed the pipeline trail up until it met the Middle River again, and then we walked again on the left side of that river back to our starting point, and the full loop was 5 kilometers.
1 second. Just 1 second, Johnny. Is it okay? Because I'm not freezing up. Is anybody else freezing up, or is it just? Oh, you took that down though, right?
I will
Johnny?
say, Sonny, at the beginning, he was freezing up a lot for me, but he is much better now. So,
Oh, okay.
I had the same problem at first, but not anymore.
Okay, I can share that map if anybody's interested to have a closer look.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love if you could share that with me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to keep going through my notes here because there were a couple of points that I wanted to make. One thing that I guess didn't really come as a surprise, but I think I was surprised at the extensiveness of this was how thoroughly searched the woods were previously.
Right.
And that is indicated by the search markers. They are clearly gridded out. You can see from one marker to the other, and they are just literally everywhere. There was one part of the pipeline trail where I didn't actually see many, and that would be on the opposite side of the pipeline trail, like away from where their home would be. But of course, I wasn't, I was only in selective spots, obviously.
Right.
But I will also say that, just like with any woods, you could walk through the woods many times and still miss things.
Absolutely.
It's just the way the woods is. And another thing that stood out to me was there was a lot of leaf coverage on the ground. Like Kent has mentioned in the past, those woods definitely are primarily evergreens, trees that don't lose their leaves. But there is enough hardwood in there that the ground was completely covered with leaves in most places.
Right.
I thought that was worth pointing out. And
well, I feel like I'm on the ground with you as you're telling me about that. All the leaves and the trees and stuff like that. That's what's nice about people that live in the area, right? Like I said, making us feel almost like we're there ourselves as you guys are talking about it.
We encountered a landowner at one point. I didn't get the sense they were related to the family.
Okay.
They were agitated but composed, I'll say. And one of the people on our groups asked them where their Nova Scotia hospitality was, because essentially they asked us to move along and that we weren't welcome. Although, to be fair, we were standing on a bridge that clearly was definitely on their property and not on the banks of the river. But they did say that prior to that they had sustained thousands of dollars in damage and theft by people on their property under the guise of searching for the kids, apparently. So I thought that was interesting. And so from that perspective, I can see, as a landowner, how this would, become a problem with people continuously being on your property.
Well, you said just to ask you, you said on a bridge, right? Well, there's the McLeod Bridge that you pointed out first was where Wayne Mackenzie lives, which is obviously, Jenny's brother, and he's at the very corner, right where the McLeod Bridge is.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Okay, so is that the person you're speaking of?
No.
Okay.
We were far away from there. This was
Okay.
much further along the Middle River.
Okay.
I think it was close to it was some kind of a farm or something. They had huge maple syrup collection set up anyway, whoever they were.
Really? Maple syrup?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so he was kind
I
of
like
agitated.
maple syrup.
Yeah.
We're Canadian. We're Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on though.
Yeah, so I did understand from their perspective, and in the end, I think we came to a good agreement, and he was fine with us just moving along up the river. Here's another interesting fact: is while we were in the woods, this is during the day, of course, we could hear vehicles traveling on the roadways while we were in the woods. I thought that was an interesting thing to note.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been mentioned by many people. The woods are just full of trees toppled over by past hurricanes, and the root balls are pulled out. In some cases, the root balls are like 6 feet or more high. There's all kinds of hiding places. It's hard to see around those things. And then, of course, you have a tree that's horizontal, which is also covering up things and making all kinds of hiding places.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult to pass through, of course. Okay, I guess the last thing that I made a note of here is the pipeline trail, and this is kind of in reference, I guess, to footprints that were found on the pipeline trail. The pipeline trail is, at least the section that we walked, is primarily plant growth. It's moss and small trees and other types of vegetation where you could walk through, and probably within a short period of time, no one would even know that you had stepped there. I don't think you would leave a footprint. There's other places where it is ground and it's kind of muddy, and you would leave footprints there. So I thought that was worth noting, that you could walk through there and not leave footprints, but you may leave footprints in some places.
Right.
Take from that what you will.
Yeah. Now, what group were you with?
I was with James. So we were this was group number 1.
Okay. And so you guys, can you pull up your map again? Can you put your map back on screen?
Sure.
Thank you. Just visually. And you can answer this or not, Johnny. Someone says, this is wonderful to hear your first hand boots on the ground. Thank you. Are you from Pictou County?
I am from Halifax County.
How far is that from Pictou County?
About 150 kilometers.
Okay.
Can you see
about
my
a 2-hour drive?
It was about an hour and 45 minutes, yeah.
You hauling ass?
No.
Just kidding.
Just keeping with the flow of traffic.
Right. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. So your group, is this a whole section that did you go around this whole section?
So basically where the red line is, that is literally where I walked. And the other searchers were not far from me. So we basically walked in a line.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did your group find anything?
I was the one that found the bicycle, actually.
Okay. Right. I saw that picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was very early in the search. It probably had just washed down the river, I assume. That river, you could tell by where the banks of the river are, and just things that had washed up. Obviously gets really full sometimes and pushes a lot of things through. So I know that a lot of things would wash through that river, and there was a lot of lumber and just random things that had washed down the river. over time.
Just to ask you your thoughts on this, that whole geocache box with Daniel Martell and whatever names that in there, and it was found kind of like in the river downstream, I believe Nick said. Do you think that got washed into the river from something at some point? Like, because it was like the dates on there are from like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very possible that would happen. And I think it was in the summer of 23, we had a massive rainstorm and flooding here.
Right.
I think we had like, we got 100 mils of rain in like a matter of hours.
Right.
Lives were lost. Like it was a pretty big disaster. A lot of places were flooded, etc. So I would imagine that river was extremely full probably at that point. So yeah, it could be related to that or something else.
Yeah. Melissa. Yo, Melissa, wake up. Only because you
I'm
missed
here. I
question
couldn't find my mute button again.
I know. Now, just to ask you, did you want to ask Johnny anything specifically yourself?
I actually have a list of questions, but I kind of want to wait until he gets done talking to you to kind of ask these, because some of them, as he's talking, he's answered already several of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, no.
I've gone through my bullet list, so please,
Yeah.
go ahead. If you guys have questions, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys met up with Please Bring Me Home, I have a couple questions within this one question. Was RCMP around at all? And what did they tell you? Did they give you specifics of what to look for?
RCMP were not there that I was aware of or seen. Yes, we were scanning the ground, we were scanning the trees. The instructions essentially were to don't move beyond, your area, your square footage, without making sure there's nothing there. There's beer cans in the woods. There are, other things that clearly aren't related, but if there's anything that could possibly be related, like a child's bike, for example, we were to point out those things, and then the team lead, in our case it was James, would document the thing, take pictures, record the location, and then we would move on. If it would have been something more significant, we would have called it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you guys looking like, and you kind of answered this, but I want to ask it. Were you guys specifically looking for like loose ground or clothing items? Was there like a list of things that you were specifically looking for?
There wasn't a list. And there was nothing specific that we were looking for. Loose ground wasn't, called out specifically, but I think if somebody would have seen that, I would assume they would have, highlighted that.
And did you talk with like any of the family that day? And if so, what were your impressions on that?
I didn't speak with any of the family.
Was any of the? I don't think it was. None of the family was in your group, right?
None of the family was on my team. No.
Yeah.
So did each of the groups have a different area? Like I see that you're showing us this picture, which if you could go to the document and go to my Facebook link and send me that, I would be greatly appreciative of it.
Sure.
But did you guys have different areas? Was like, I know you said you guys were all in a line, but was that your group that was all in a line, or, did group 2 search a different area than your group did?
Yeah, everybody had a different area to cover. And so by a line, I don't mean like single file. I mean like width wise. So we were, maybe 20, not even 20, probably 15 feet apart from each other. And you're essentially responsible for the area between you and the person to your right and left.
I was going to screenshot this quickly. Johnny, can you make it just a little bit bigger on the screen? And then I'll just screenshot it. Okay. Thank you. Screenshot that sucker.
So different
So-
groups were assigned different areas. For example, we were on one side of the river, another group was on the other side of the river. And I'm not sure where all the groups were.
Okay.
Fair. I mean, I wasn't sure because I was like, well, were they all searching? Like one went out and then the next one went out, and you guys were all in relatively the same area, or how that worked.
It
So
was all different areas, and I assume the other side of Lansdowne Lake would have been searched as well. Definitely, the other side of Middle River was searched, and other areas that I'm not sure where they were though.
So the water, was it deep and moving fast, or can you tell us how the river was? Like, I know it probably doesn't matter to most people, but
the river, it varied in different places. In some places, it was pretty fast moving, and if you went in there, it would move you along. Not, you could just get out, but it wasn't like whitewater rapids or anything like that. But there was definitely some fast moving large volumes of water, and there were a lot of places in the river where, just because of the reflection and the depth of the water, you couldn't see to the bottom. So there could have been something there and you would not have known it. And then in other spots you could clearly see right down to the bottom.
Well, that answers my next question.
Murdoch says, was there a note found? Is that true? CBC state in a note? Did I miss that? I know that they talked about the box with the messages and stuff in the little, well,
that's what I think when CBC said note, is what was found in the box.
Yeah, I think that's what they were talking about. That's the one with Daniel's name and stuff like that. That's what I think that they were talking about. But I was going to say, Please Bring Me Home. We'll be doing a live Wednesday. It's Wednesday. But yeah, I believe that was said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. That they'll be doing a live. Pretty sure it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so I only have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound weird and I don't know how to phrase it. So if there would have been, let's say, a hole, right, from all these uprooted trees, do you feel like while walking through this, that if the kids would have fell in a hole or whatever, that they could have been covered up and missed? Or do you not feel like that's even a possibility? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, maybe they crawled in one of these uprooted trees and were just missed. Is that even a possibility in your mind?
Definitely. I checked quite a few uprooted trees that would have been a place where children could have climbed in. There was even a tree that was hollow that was large enough that children could have climbed in. And I, put the light on my phone and looked in there. So yeah, there were a lot of places, especially the uprooted trees, that created a space where a kid could go in there. And if you didn't actually look in, you wouldn't know if they were there or not. And I'm sure there are thousands of those, and I looked in maybe 5.
Right. Do you believe the children got lost in the woods?
I don't think it's impossible.
That was my last question.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. But again, I lean different ways depending on the day.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing here is about for the children going into the woods, what's the likelihood that the children would go into the woods based upon the fact that Lily didn't like bugs and Jack had to be carried into the woods. So how truly far could they have gotten, right, without being found that day? But because obviously that imminent area right there around the house and stuff like that, within a certain portion, obviously. would have been especially probably thoroughly gone through. But I mean, Kent made that kind of comment on a live before about, basically because of that. What was it? Hurricane, I don't know. Fiona. That was, I was going to say Felina or something like that. But anyways, that, if children could by chance of, kind of got buried underneath a tree there or something like that.
Yeah, I'll also say there's a lot of trails in those woods too, like just walking trails, game trails, and ATV trails, that sort of thing. So the woods themselves, yes, some places are really hard to get through, but it's also full of trails. There are a lot of trails back there. So, and those are easy to walk through. Easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you said you learned a few things. What did you learn?
Well, I guess one thing that James taught me was that when you're searching for something, we're trained to, or most people, I guess, are trained, at least this culture is trained to, read from left to right. And when you're looking from things, you would look from left to right typically. So if you actually reverse that and start from the right and look to the left, you're more likely to see things because your brain doesn't fill in missing gaps. So if there's something out of place, you would be more likely to notice it. So if you're in a grocery store and you need to find something, try starting from the right and look to the left.
See, Legal, you said, can you ask Nick if there will be security RCMP presence when the cadaver dogs come in? That's not Nick, though. That's up here, right? That's Johnny.
That's what I was just thinking. Well, I just want to say, Johnny, thank you so much for going out and searching, and thank you for coming up here and talking to Sunny and everybody and letting us know what it was like and what you went through as a searcher.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, because so now that you've had your first, being virginitized basically on a YouTube channel, just to ask you, Johnny, it's not so bad, is it?
No, not at all.
No, it's just only because I've had many people that have been just viewers that have come up on lives, and it's one of those things is that usually once they've done it one time, it's like, it's not as bad as I thought, and because it's really almost like sitting around a round table just talking about stuff, and
it's basically like a work meeting, but there's less at stake.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, is there anything else that comes to your mind that you wish to bring up or talk about?
No, I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk about.
No, I feel like there's more, Johnny. I feel like there's more. No. How many people okay, so you said that there was a lot of traffic. Now, so I had heard, was told that, so I already talked about Wayne McKenzie, right? And that's the one that was like the angry bird there at the corner of Lansdowne Station Road. But I'd heard that he was revving his truck and going up and down like 20 times, just revving his truck, So did you by chance hear the truck revving up and down? Vroom, vroom.
Not that I am aware of. And I guess to clarify, it wasn't that there was a lot of traffic. It's just that when people did pass by the area, I could hear it quite well, and for quite a distance.
Quite a distance, yeah. Well, so I was just wondering if there was. Did you notice any looky-loos?
No.
So much. I mean, it's quite a sporadic area. There's not a lot of homes, a lot of trees, not really a lot of homes, a lot of river and stuff like that. So, but I was just wondering if anyone was trying to be looky-loos more so and stuff like that.
No, other than that property owner, I didn't run into anyone other than searchers.
Yeah. And I know that, like you said, you got involved in this case because it's close to home and stuff like that. If they did another search, would you go back out?
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. Okay. Well, let's flip a coin. No, just kidding. We'll see what happens, I guess, eh? I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost been 7 months, going to be coming up shortly here. And it's
Yeah.
kind of, you know what? Let me ask you something if you don't mind. When you first heard about this case, obviously, did you think, like many, that, you know what, they would find the children? Did you ever expect that it would be almost coming into the 7th month?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Are you married? Does your wife follow the case, or
Not as closely as I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or it kind of draws you in, especially when it's really close to home, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, on there. Well, I don't want to keep you, Johnny, but hey, if there's ever anytime you ever want to come up and say something again or share anything, feel free. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very
On
much.
there. But I know that you have actually go ahead quickly, Johnny. I know that I don't know what your link is to your channel. Besides, do me a favor, just type in chat for 1 second
I'll grab
if
it.
you can. Okay. I was there the other day because of Charmaine. Johnny, you're awesome. Johnny, so appreciated. No, it's always I love, and that's with Kent too, right? I do really love just boots on the ground, people that can talk about the experience and kind of make us feel like we're there. Uh, so this stuff to me is always great. Okay, that's Johnny's channel there. Okay, 1 second. And Johnny, are you a person?
Yeah, I kind of had it handy.
You just yelled right down my
Sorry.
down, woman. No, it's your mic just all of a sudden went off. Johnny, are you actually trying to build your channel?
Not really. I'm mostly into DIY stuff, so you'll find some of that stuff there. I'll actually the videos from the search I have delisted, but I will make them public just for anybody who is interested. The video was taken at near the end of our search route on the Middle River, and it will give you an idea of how much water at the time was in that river and how fast it was flowing.
Okay, yeah,
I would love if you would put those where we can grab them, and I'll put them in the document as well.
I'll tell you this though, Johnny, you and my husband would get along amazing. Let's see here. 1 second. This is Johnny's channel. So my husband, he's a man of all trades. Doesn't matter what it is. Electrician, plumber, doesn't matter what it is. One of the things he loves doing is working with his hand with wood, and stuff like that. So, I mean, he was been in construction for like 6 years, and stuff like that. But he's kind of like a YouTuber, look on a YouTuber how to do something. If he doesn't know, he always looks. But my husband is just he's just amazing, honestly. Like, my husband is 21 years younger than I am. Okay, he's 35. And suck it, people, for anyone that wants to judge me. My husband is like the best man that I've ever met in my entire life. And he's just so knowledgeable. And the stuff that my husband can do it's just endless. Like, there's nothing that he can't do. I feel like you're like that. I feel like looking at your page right now that you just, right? You got all these, is this your bird?
Yep. Well, it's my son's, actually.
Does it talk?
Yeah, he says a few things and he imitates noises.
Did he do it in this video?
Yeah, if you watch those videos, he's making some noises. Yeah.
Well, let's just watch this. Fun.
I'm a good bird.
Yeah. Give me a kiss.
He's like looking at himself in the mirror like, hey, sexy, what you doing?
So cute. What is those two little things on their nose up there?
That's his nostrils.
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
What does he say?
You good boy.
Only because
I need to get me a bird and teach it to say bite me.
Well, there's this parrot that I'm always watching on like YouTube shorts that's always cracking jokes or whatever. And I've been watching a lot of them lately, and it's kind of amazing to me when, I don't know why, but just when birds can like talk like you can teach them just to sit there and talk and learn.
They're so smart.
I know. You good birdie. You a good birdie. Okay. Okay. So anyways, you guys, Melissa dropped Johnny's channel there. But like I said, there's 1 second here. Talking bird. One second here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. But yeah, so like some do it yourselves. But hey, yeah, if you put those back up, that would be great as well.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Man to man here, obviously. Just kidding. What's your most favorite thing you ever built or did?
Oh,
too many.
There's a lot.
Top three.
Top three things that I've built. I built a corner cabinet hutch thing that was pretty
intensive,
pretty detailed and intensive. My kitchen, actually, I rented that and built the cabinets from walnut.
Yeah, that was nice. Expensive.
Yeah, I actually did some web development work in exchange for wood.
Oh, okay.
to get that, yeah. So yeah, those would be my top two. The top three, I don't know.
Well, if you don't have a top third, that's fine. But
I mean, there's so many things
on there.
I'm hearing that Johnny has a very lucky wife.
Is that what you're hearing? Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, because if she wants something, he can just build it for her and save money, like on cabinets and stuff.
You should see the lists.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going to say this. Suck it, husband. I'm going to say this. So my husband used to always like repair things. So I'm going to say that for at least 8 months now, my garbage garburator hasn't worked. And every time I tell him to do it, because he's had multiple times to do it, I'm still sitting here doing dishes by hand and that stupid freaking plunging it whenever it gets filled up or whatever. And I'm just like, but he used to do all that stuff right away. And, my husband's kind of sick and twisted is that, when you buy furniture and stuff like that, he's like a little kid with all the he doesn't even look at the directions hardly ever. He actually likes putting those things together. And I'm just like, how? But last year, he made some windmills and some lighthouses.
No,
and then he would sell them on Marketplace for like $150 to $200, and they were just like that, Yeah.
Popular items. They're popular here too, I guess, in a coastal area.
Yeah. I mean, they were a lot of work because, like, kind of like me, I always kind of overdo things instead of simplifying them and stuff like that, which kind of like he would overdo them because he probably should have been charging probably more like $300, $350 for them, to be honest. But anyways, well, thank you, Johnny, for coming up here, and appreciate that so much, actually. So appreciate. Yeah.
No problem. Okay.
And other than that, Johnny, see you in chats.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Take care. We'll put us together.
That is awesome that he was able to come up here and give us a firsthand account of the search and what was going on and
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hearing all that stuff. Like I said, I just like information about Jack and Lily, the tidbits and stuff like that. Anything that can provide more things to Jack and Lily's disappearance and stuff like that. Boots on the ground. I love Kent's always, like I said, been with the channel pretty much since the start of it, coming on and talking about the areas, and it just makes me feel like I'm there because you're listening to, it's not like I'm here in Western Canada and I'm trying to sit there and talk about how the woods would be and stuff like that. So to hear it from their perspective, since they're literally part of the search, and to hear about the trees and how big the gaping holes and stuff like that, and then I know we'll hear more tomorrow, not tomorrow, sorry, because today's only Monday, on Wednesday from Please Bring Me Home when they, do a live and stock and stuff like that. probably take questions and answers perhaps in that. But so anyway, we're gonna get going here soon. But your document, let me show that again. Stop screen, share screen. Is there anything you wanted to talk about with your document? Wait, my access has expired. My
No, I added, some stuff just a few minutes ago. But yeah, I mean, it's not complete by any means. So I ask that people share it, right? Get this out to people, so that they have the factual information. And if you come across something that you want put in it, my information is in the resources section, and send it to me and I'll see about getting it in there. Please refrain from sending me personal opinions. I only want fact-based information in this document. And, like I had said to you earlier, I feel like I didn't do a very good job on it. I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I did, but everybody seems to like it. So.
Well, you know what? It's because people like us are our own worst critics, right? We judge ourselves harder in a sense. So shut it. Shut the front door. Johnny, I want to
So I have posted Johnny's link several times for those that want to go sub up. And again, I just want to say thank you, 1, for searching, and 2, for coming up here and answering questions and telling us about the search. Because the tree thing, that is something that has always got me. It's like, I want somebody to tell me, how big were these holes? Is there a chance the kids could have fallen in one and been missed? Or, I want to know about that stuff. So the fact that he was willing to come up here and talk and answer questions, much thanks, because it helps me understand the area better as somebody who can't be there, boots on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just see here.
The rent means they're mods, Dottie.
I don't think. Hey,
Dottie had asked what the wrench by some of the names means, and that just means that they are mods for the channel.
1 second. I'm just going to hit refresh. I just want to see if there's anything else here. 1 second.
Yes, Aaron, it is very tedious, and I'm just trying to. My goal is with these documents is not to solve the case. It is meant as a way for people to just be able to go to one spot and find different information, find things that are relevant and fact-based, and for somebody who would just be coming into the case, say now they have a place to go and look at things, and look at the case and look at the timelines and things that have been said and by who and when and where. And that's the goal of it, I guess, is the way to put it.
Just trying to see if there's anything else out here right now. 1 day ago. Let's take a look here. No, I don't think so. I think we're good. For today.
So Colleen said, devil's advocate, the police seem to be able to get a hold of her every time she might be helping them. I'm assuming you're talking about Malaya. And I think that Malaya would answer a call from or a message from RCMP before she would, anybody else. I don't know about helping them, but I would assume that she's in contact with them, yes.
With who? RCMP? Yeah. Well, I mean, she would get updates, and stuff too. Right? Certain things. Who's MD? Just facts. Who's MD? She said Jordan Geddes is on MD. Who's MD? Why can't I think of it? Oh, Mike Damon? Ah, fuck that. I ain't interested in him, to be honest with you. And so, yeah.
You know,
None
when
of
we were doing Sebastian, I had a lot of his stuff in there, but he just
Oh, did you? I never heard of him at
isn't
all.
as credible as some of the other ones that I've put in this document, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
My Jordan Geddes interview part 1. Yeah. I just, no. Sorry, but I just don't. He always trashing people, and then he tries to be nicer, and then shit on this channel, and now I just think he's a big ass suck up that tries to get information and uses information from other people's shit all the time. But hey, you know what? Let him do his thing. Obviously, he's just not my personal cup of tea. I listened to him for a while, but then it just got boring, to be honest with you. So he's not my personal cup of tea. Yeah, he's quite the dick, actually. But whatever. If you like him, then say you like him. Simple as that. But I mean, obviously, a lot of people are gonna go, if Jordan Geddes is talking, why not, right? Go listen. I think it says premiere. Oh, I guess he is on it now, or is playing it. Is he actually on there? Let me just take a look.
While you're looking at that, Dottie,
No.
you ask, how do you become a mod and what do they do? We do all kinds of stuff. We do whatever Sunny needs us to do. And every channel has their own mods, and that's up to the creator of that channel.
Yeah, mods are typically, like, at least in this channel, mods are people that have been with this channel for a long time. People that I trust. I don't really mod up too many people anymore, because I don't like people to abuse the wrenches. And so I only give them to the people that I trust the most, that I know will, because I don't really have rules besides be respectful, when you're in chat. And if you're going to be a dick to the content creator, and then you're kind of come slag in the thing, then, expect a boot out of there. So it's just, this channel is really about respectful, that people can have their opinions, but if you're going to be like a dick about it, then you can take your opinion elsewhere and go watch somebody else. So I just really like it when people come together, they can converse, they can have adult conversations, and, not drama induced type of content or chat rooms and stuff like that. This channel is not based around how fast I can grow a channel and stuff like that. The channel will grow organically with, again, integrity to it. But so yeah, the people I pick for mods I'm very selective in this channel of who gets it. They have to show that they're, just a decent, good person. Yeah, American Justin. I don't
Except
even know
me,
why.
you only modded me because you wanted my information for Delphi.
No, probably so you could drop links or something, eh? It's usually why I mod people.
Right?
Yeah, when you come up on here, then you can just drop links. You can drop your shit. Yeah, probably used you, but you're still hanging with me. Like, no. Anyways, you guys.
So there's people saying thank you for the document and you're welcome, but thank Sunny because she's the one that asked me to do it. Or well,
Don't thank
technically
me.
I asked you and you're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you asked me and I'm like, go for it, because I remember the Sebastian document, and it just said it's a place to go that is compacted with a lot of information. Might not have everything for sure, but it has a lot. And it's kind of like a one-stop shop pretty much, And it's just a good thing that people can click through each of the different sections, go watch a lot of these news articles and different things. And anyways, takes a lot of work. So again, thanks Melissa for all that hard work. And again, she'll keep adding to it as stuff comes across, like this interview that we just watched tonight and stuff. And then, maybe Johnny's map and stuff like that. So yeah.
I actually did put the screenshot I took of Johnny's map, but Johnny, please send that to me because it's a very blurry version. But
I was going to say, Johnny,
I did
Go ahead.
add, like, even this live, because Johnny spoke to us. Johnny come up here and spoke. So people can go and click on that and go, oh, okay, one of the searchers was speaking. Let me go see what he had to say from a firsthand point of view.
I was gonna say, and Johnny, either do that or you can send me the map and I'll send it off because he has my email already. But it's up to him, if he can work his way through yours. Her link's in there. But if not, then just feel free to send it and I'll forward it off to Melissa after I edit it.
That worked for me.
Okay.
And Roxanne, yes, Daniel did say that he wasn't around the first couple of days because he was in the woods searching. However, at other times he says he wasn't in the woods because he wasn't allowed in the woods. He can't keep his story straight.
What do you think about the fact that a couple weeks after the children went missing, that Daniel was he was down, oh my goodness, why do I always forget the name? What's it called now? Come on now. You guys know Earl's other piece of land, Bart. What's it called? Why do I keep having a brain block on the name? 1 second. I'll find it, people. Where is it? Darn it. Somebody help me out here. Wait, I'm going to find this. Oh, Lower Barney's River. Barney's River. Okay. So Earl owns a piece of land down there. Thank you guys. I come back and you guys all know it on their root strength. I was at search as well. Again, thank you for everyone for assisted in doing that for Jack and Lily. And thank you for your kind and caring hearts. But Barney's River. So a couple weeks after, right, a cashier at at the little store there had, basically reported that Daniel was down there. I think he was buying a pop or something like that. What else were you doing down there, Daniel? Just go ahead. Call a friend. Go ahead. But anyways, kind of just seems still a bit odd, right? That you're down there, like fishing. What are you doing? Fishing? Down at the Barney's River there? Like why would you be down there, to be honest with you? Why would you even be down there? Besides the fact that your dad owns property there. It's one of those things that sits in the back of my head a bit, right? If Jack and Lily are down there, what was his purpose? Why did he need to go down to Barney's River all of a sudden for? You think that he'd be hovering around the home, with everything, but he was down near Barney's River. He's sus to me, no matter what. Everything he does is sus. God. Following you, Daniel. But anyways, any last thoughts before we get going?
No, just pray these babies come home. And like I said before, please spread this document so that the factual information can be out there. And hopefully these babies are found soon.
Hey, I was just noticing that my bra matches my shirt. Haha. Just saying. Not like you guys knew. Well, just caught me I caught myself in the camera and I was like, what's that shiny thing? Oh, that's my bra strap. But anyway, yeah. Again, if you guys haven't hit that like and the share, please do so for Jack and Lily. I'm not doing a live tomorrow. No, I got other plans. Got to get my groceries, $1.49 day, get my groceries, and then I gotta probably clean. Yeah, you guys, thank you guys for being here. And just before we go, I'll just say, so again, family involvement 71, family involvement hidden 21, wandered off 5%, 3% for random stranger on there. But anyways, thank you guys. And that was based on, let me just see, 346 votes. Yeah, but anyways, all right, guys. Oh yeah, I wonder what time Please Bring Me Home is going live, because they're like, well, is he doing it from Ontario, which is 3 hours difference versus 4 hours difference. Anyways, see you guys on Wednesday, probably, maybe. All right, then, will do. But yeah, good night, Belinda. Good night, all the family that are really searching hard and trying to get answers for Jack and Lily and all that stuff. Oh, I wanted to say one thing about the doll. So as far as I heard about the doll is that, like, because you know how, like, Malaya got a bunch of bags of the children's toys and different things, right? That they had packed it all up. And so the doll or whatever wasn't, say, whatever doll, because there was a list of different things, I guess. So it's not like Lily absolutely had this doll with her. It's that it wasn't in the items of, you know, those things, because obviously, I guess, you know, mother would probably know what items, but it still could be in the trailer, right? Some of these items could still be in the trailer. So who truly knows exactly, you know, because I think this whole thing with the doll is like, wait, Lily had a doll with her, you know, but I don't know that that's necessarily just because of what I was told today. Is that it possibly, right, could be in the trailer still, you know? So yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and do no big doll thing on it. If it's missing, well, so is Lily, you know, but anyways, there's a list of items, I guess.
The only time I think that the doll for me, and I've sat on this since last night and I've thought, and I think the only time this doll for me is going to come into play is if when the babies are found that Lily has a doll with her. Then it will be more of a, well, how did, you know, Malaya know that the doll was, you know what I mean? That's really where I'm at with the whole doll situation. I am more concerned with changing what the kids were wearing and not being able to tell A to Z what happened that day. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm hungry. I'm hangry. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks, Dottie. Thanks, Kimberly and Damien, you guys, and of course Johnny. Thank you so much for joining us up here on the live. Watch him start doing lives now. He's gonna be like, "Oh, now I'm a pro. Yeah, I know how to share a screen."
He's gonna have all kinds of people asking him to come up now because he come up.
Yeah. Just say no. You're just exclusive to Sunny. Shh. Control. I need to be like a Daniel control freak. No. But didn't Daniel say on the DC show that he wasn't around for the first couple days because he was in the woods searching? Well, I don't recall him saying it wasn't. Well, I mean, he did say he wasn't around a lot. Yeah, because he was too busy searching. I remember Wade going, what was he doing in the woods? He was all by himself for like an hour, you know, doing meth or something like that, I think he said. Oh, Wade, do tell. Anyways, guys, you guys have a great night. With that being said, you guys, I'm just going to play out the video, the tribute video for Jack and Lily, and then we're out of here. And Melissa, thank you so much again for all your work on the document, and of course for being here tonight.
You're welcome. And like I said, next time you start a case, let's just start on the document right away, because going back after 6 months is very tiring.
I know. It's a lot of work. I know. Are you ready? Okay, here we go.
In the woods where shadows lay, Jack and Lily went
Good night, guys.
On a rainy May afternoon. Now we whisper hope's soft tune. Echoes of laughter fill the air, but where are they? We stand in prayer. Oh, Jack and Lily, where have you gone? We'll hold on tight through this endless dawn. prayer we send your way. Hundreds gathered, hearts so strong, searching deep where they belong. Through the trees and storms they roam, wishing every child came home. Fatigued but fierce, they won't give in. For every soul we search within. Oh, Jack and Lily, where have you gone? We'll hold on tight through this endless storm. In our hearts forever you'll stay, with every prayer we send away. We'll keep the hope alive today. In the silence,
guys.
love will lead the way.
I know us, right?
Please help bring us home.